So on this episode, we're going to talk about bike rallies and boot shines.
Woohoo!
Yeah. As you can see, we got our rally shirts on.
We got our dress up.
I don't usually get shirts. I don't get the stuff. I don't usually collect the t-shirts.
No, but I like the t-shirts from the rallies and stuff, and I like t-shirts.
Yep. She likes the dealerships, but we'll get into that on another episode. I'm like previewing a lot of episodes as she says stuff. So it's okay though. So like we started doing the rallies. I mean, I started in 15 in motorcycle ministry, and but like the first few years I was still, figuring out our budget, figuring out our money. So a lot of the rallies and stuff, unless they were local, we didn't go to. And it wasn't until after my stroke that we actually went to our first rally.
I think that even after, it was probably the stroke that really set it off, that we needed to do things more often, and we needed to go to and experience life after that actually happened. So I think
the wake-up call.
Yeah, I think that was what sparked everything. Like, let's go. Because there's a lot of things that we wanted to do, or we talked about doing. We talked about traveling. We talked about, there's so many things that we wanted to do as a married couple, and we didn't have the funds, or we didn't have that kind of desire to get out there to do that. But that really sparked it. And
we prioritized the money other places, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, in much needed places, but it was definitely something that we took more care in actually saying we want to do this now.
Well, I think initially we had planned before the stroke to do that, because initially we were going to go to our national conference.
Right.
But the national conference happened when I was in the hospital.
Right.
Fighting for my life.
Yeah, it was the same exact week that that happened when the stroke happened. So
we had to cancel flights, cancel hotel rooms, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that we can, take care of me in the hospital.
Yeah.
So that we had started planning that, but again, it really was a wake up call.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Our very first conference our very first bike rally road trip was Red River in 2018.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, going back to the way we were doing things, this is the beginning. We left a little early, and we were going to drive to Albuquerque, and I wanted to hit up to the dealerships. We'll hear about the dealerships later, but I wanted to hit up two of the dealerships, because when we go to the dealerships, I collect a pin, I collect a chip, and then Stacy collects the t-shirts. But again, we'll get into that because there's a whole episode on the dealerships. And so, we left early to go do that. And while we were in Albuquerque, we received a phone call that our national president was in Red River and heard I was coming and was looking for me. So we kind of stopped going to, Albuquerque and turned, I think, around Santa Fe, and then headed towards Red River.
Yeah, because we were actually on the road, and then I think you received that phone call and said, "Hey, so this person's looking for you. So when are you going to be here?" I said,
"Where are you guys at?"
Well, we're coming now.
I guess we're turning.
Yep.
So we ended up going to Red River. We were going because at that time, Red River, 4 chapters I think were involved in that. There was the Albuquerque chapter, there was the Mile High chapter at that time, there was the Pikes Peak chapter, and the Durango chapter that supported that. So all 4 of us came together, and we'd set up a booth in Red River, boot shining and praying with people. And so,
I think actually, didn't they have 2 booths? So one was by the dealership, and then the other one was more towards the middle of the actual rally?
No.
Or am I thinking something different?
You're thinking of Four Corners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Red River is a whole different deal.
Okay.
So yeah, Red River was just in, because there's no dealership in Red River.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're thinking of Four Corners. But anyways, so we went, as part of the crew to work the booth, and again, difference of learning, difference of the way different individuals look at a weekend like that. we looked at it as a work play weekend. Some people looked at it as all hands on deck working weekend. And so, we showed up again. We're showing up whenever we show up. This was our first one. Prior presidents and members have gone to the ones prior to that, but again, we could not afford to go. And for us, it wasn't, let's just be real, it wasn't a real priority, because again, we were looking more at our finances for other things than we were at, going out and doing things. So this was our first time. So we showed up, and as we got there, our national president walked around with us, and that was an amazing moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because one of the best parts of being involved in that was, because we were called Black Sheep, and when he was in the hospital, when Lito was in the hospital, all of the community actually surrounded me and prayed for us and sent prayers. And
it was amazing.
And when I was talking to our founder, I said, well, thank you for doing this for me. Thank you you don't know me. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know anything about me. And he says, but you're a sheep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna cry.
Well, that
Thanks, babe.
that really marked the ministry for us.
Yeah. And it was the most genuine and the most honest response to me when I said, you don't know me. You didn't have to, help me. You didn't have to pray for me. You didn't have to do any of that. But his thing kept going back to it and saying, but you're a sheep.
Yeah.
Which means to me, I was part of something.
Yeah.
And I was part of not him, but the ministry. And I was part of what we were doing and what he was, what it was. And it was definitely something that was very, very, very memorable for me,
right.
Obviously, because I'm crying.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, so we'll move on.
I'm not crying anymore.
Yeah, we don't want to cry anymore. So, we get there, and again, our chapter has been developing under me as the new president, and we were, as a chapter, collectively trying to design the way the chapter looked and ran and worked. And so we made a lot of changes, and one of the things is we really tried to balance everything. We tried to balance between work and fellowship, and work and downtime, and work, and so it wasn't all about work for us. And so I think our viewpoint was a little different than most, and there was some I can sense there was some frustration from people, because again, they looked at it as a working weekend. We looked at it as a work play weekend, a work getaway weekend, a work fellowship weekend. And so towards the end of it, that first year on 2018, I went back to let the others know that I would be taking, because we took our chair down there, that I would be taking our chair back to Denver. I'd be just loading it up in the View and take it back with me. And what time tomorrow, or what time do they want me to grab it, or whatnot. And I can sense there was a little frustration, and so we had a conversation. And so the next year, in 2019, we had a summit. We all met, all the presidents from the various chapters met in 19 and actually came up with a schedule. Certain chapters were going to work a block of time, so that everybody can just enjoy the rally, enjoy the time out there,
right.
So they can get fellowship as well. Because I think one of the things that was amazing about 18 is one of our guys had an Airbnb, and we all had a barbecue at his place.
Yeah, definitely.
That was cool. That was an amazing time with everybody. I think we got a big old picture of everybody.
Yeah,
it was really it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of maybe sparked something. And so I don't know. It's just one of those things, because the next year we had a summit and we lined it out. And so in 19, we came back with a different view, and everybody had a different view. Like even some of the guys that wanted to ride in the parade or the procession coming in to Red River were able to do that, because they scheduled their time later and we took their time in the morning.
Right.
And we made it work. And so again, it was a learning curve, a learning avenue, a learning opportunity. Again, it was for some, it was a working weekend. For us, it was a work fellowship balance. And I think for us, I think for me and you especially, I think that was the last year we kind of officially were a part of that, because 2020 happened.
Yeah.
They didn't have it. 2021, I think the Albuquerque chapter did it. We went down to support, me and you.
Right.
And then after that, I think it was completely done. I don't think we set up a booth after that.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the time where, there was a lot of changes, after the pandemic. There's a lot of changes for everybody.
Majorly.
The world knows.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So then, like just being here, again, we're talking about, the bike rallies and boot shines, and so being here, we did an event every year, and other MMs in our area were part of that event, and they had mentioned that they were doing something. One of the other MCs, Christian MCs, mentioned that they were doing an event in Kansas. So, the next year, and when we found out, and so, me and Liberty were like, hey, let's go do this.
Let's go support.
Let's go
whatever
support.
else they're doing. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So I happened to book just randomly. I was looking for a place where the event was happening. The event was called Thunder on the Streets, and so we were gonna go and check this out. And it was an amazing event, and the work they did there was amazing, because again, the town, I guess the town of Pleasanton shut down for them, and the whole town, the main street was their thing. Right. So like a lot of people, that came to Christ and was introduced to Christ, and a lot of people, just were prayed for. Right, and so it was an amazing move that happened. And so we just, that first year we showed up, and I booked a place in Fort Scott. One of your favorites.
Yes, it was. I'm gonna cry again. What is going on here? Yeah, it was amazing, because when we first got there and in the location, it wasn't like your typical Airbnb where you got a house and you got a driveway or whatever. We had to kind of look around for parking, because the area that we were on the main street, but it was like a
loft.
Okay, so we have to go up the stairs to the top, and the
it was above a storefront.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking I didn't anyway. So it's up, and you can see the entire street that was there. And when we happened to go in there, we were looking, and there was an event happening right there on the street. And we got all of our stuff up on the, up in the area or in the Airbnb, and we ended up coming back down to look for it, and it was
called the good old days.
Okay, good old days event, and they had all kinds of vendors that were there, local vendors, and so you can purchase like just little things, like handcrafted things or handmade things. There was all kinds of, I can't even explain all the different things they had, soaps and all kinds of different things that you could
weaved baskets, weaved different things.
Yeah, that was. But they also had like a band that was playing right there in the middle of the street,
right.
And it was such a great time, because you could go in there and people were nice, and they were welcoming, and there was like straight across, well, kind of catty corner from us was their like police officers were all up and down the streets, but it was like you didn't get that feel that they were needed. Some places that we go, you can tell that there's a different atmosphere there, but this atmosphere just felt like it was, it was hometown. Like it was a good old days kind of an event. Something that was happening it almost happened like every year, and we didn't know that. Yeah, I guess it did, but it was, anytime that we actually go to this place, that was just something that that just we happened upon,
right?
And I think that was
our first time something had just popped onto us,
that we just kind of, and we were like, wow, this is amazing. We kind of stumbled upon it, and then so we were able to go, and we enjoyed ourselves, and it was actually great. You go and you purchase little things to support the local event that you're at, and that was, and now this one we didn't have any type of boot shining areas in there because we were going to support obviously the other MC, and so it was definitely a great time that we were able to have during that time. So
Right.
Yeah.
And we ventured out into, again, we went to, it was right there on the border of Kansas and Missouri, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it because then that's a different episode.
Right.
But we ventured off into other states to do other things.
Yeah.
And so again, that became a different thing that we added to our road tripping itinerary.
Yeah.
And again, that's a whole different episode. It has to do with Harley dealerships. So, again, we're going to leave that for that episode. And it was, like I said, it was an awesome time. We were able to, that first year, we missed the whole rally. We really did. We really did.
I can't remember why.
We went overboard on the dealerships.
Oh.
We did. And we almost missed the rally. We just caught the tail end of it. But the following year, we were able to take it in.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. And so it was one of those amazing times. I think that same year, we decided, because we went into Missouri, we decided to crash the party with my in-laws, your mom and dad.
Yeah, we decided we were just going to crash and we were going to go to Branson. I mean, we had talked about going to Branson before. Obviously, we've talked about traveling other places, but we knew that my family was going to Branson. So we just said, hey, so can we just crash your party? And we'll stay in our own place, but can we come with you? Can we be there with you? And that was actually pretty cool because we got to see some and spend spend time with.
Well, and that's the first time you heard real nature.
Yeah. Oh, yes. When we're driving through, it was like when the place that we stayed when we were in. Did we stay in Branson or
No,
where exactly?
We stayed in Branson. But we didn't stay with them.
Right.
We stood completely somewhere else.
Yeah. So when we stayed over there wasn't. This one was a regular Airbnb. It wasn't like the loft like we were talking about earlier, but it was a regular Airbnb. And when we're driving through the area, you open the windows and you hear these sounds that are not here in Colorado. I mean, you hear frogs and you hear things like, I don't know if they have cicadas in Branson or in that area, but in Missouri, but
yeah, they probably do.
I don't know. There were some things that we just got that we just heard, and these sounds were just so amazing.
Right.
And people in Missouri, you probably hear this all the time and don't think that it's amazing like as much as I did, but it was crazy to hear all these different things.
And all of this was new to her because, again, I kind of grew up with like this because I know not all of the sounds, don't get me wrong, not all of the sounds, but again, I grew up in the country. Brighton was way out of town. It was a farm town. So I was used to hearing, crickets and frogs, maybe not bullfrogs, but frogs.
Yeah.
I was used to hearing all the sounds of kind of nature.
Right.
And so that wasn't new to me. When the festival happened at that little small town of Sports Scott, that wasn't new to me because Brighton had that kind of stuff.
Right.
So all this was new to her. But we planned that trip, and in the spirit of what we do, I always find something on the way there, on the way home. We decided to drive down through Arkansas and go see this glass chapel, Thorn Crown, and it's in Eureka Springs. So we're just driving, and again
through the pigtail, or we're getting to the pigtail.
Through the pigtail.
Yeah.
And so we're just driving through there, and again, you'll hear about the episode, But again, this one ties to this story, so I can mention this part of it. So we're rolling up, and I'm like, oh look, there's a Harley dealership just coming up. And so, she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. I say, you get another one. Gotta catch them all. That's going to be the name of the episode. So
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So we roll up, and all of a sudden, we see bikes everywhere.
And this isn't just like one or two bikes. I mean, this is something that's like Normally when you see a Harley dealership, you're just going up and you see a few bikes, maybe one or two, maybe, a little group,
Right.
But this one, we saw a bunch. I mean, there was a whole...
Directing traffic. There was you didn't see any cages or any vehicles, cars.
Except for us.
And
We were in a
except for us. Because again, we weren't, this one wasn't a motorcycle thing.
Right.
And we stumbled upon the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue Rally.
So if you can see,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
why
advertising.
she's throwing it out there. She got that at the rally.
It was great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing. I mean, there was definitely other vendors, just like there always is in any of the rallies that you go to, but this one was actually pretty cool because the Harley dealership was on one side, and then they also had a warehouse on the other side, and then all their Harley stuff.
It almost looked like a block scene. Because you had the building over here, and then it looked like a row of buildings on this side. So it almost looked like a street in between them.
Yeah, it was, but it was cool because then you just got to see, and of course there's a lot of different types of bikes that were parked up and down the streets, and then I think there was some MCs that we actually recognized. So I mean, that's whatever, but still, I mean, it was another time where we happened upon something else that we're not expecting it to happen, but
surprises.
It just happens, and it's actually pretty cool when things like that happen.
So
and a lot of our road trips,
and again, like I said, this is just just giving you glimpses. We're not again, there's so many stories we could tell. And we in Colorado at the time had 3 chapters, I believe, because the 4th had gone.
Okay.
We had 3 chapters in Colorado. We had us here in Denver. We had one in Colorado Springs, and we had one in Grand Junction. And so, in their beginning stages, they did not have a boot shine booth, and we did here in Denver. And so we decided, okay, we're going to take ours to the other side, and we're going to support them. And so, they were doing an event called Fire and Dice. And so we said, we'll bring our boot shine. We'll do that. You focus on the event. We'll focus on the boot shine. And we'll do boot shines for people. Me and Stacy, and it was something.
Liberty.
Liberty. I keep saying your name.
I know.
Oh, man.
I'm Liberty.
Ding. You have to put a little Stacy box. Little coin. Every time I say, you got to put a coin in it. So anyways, me and Liberty go over there, and we set up the booth. And so I say, hey, you want to take the long way home? And she's like, what do you mean the long way home? I says, we'll go up through Utah, go up through Flaming Gorge, and we'll come across on I-80, come through Wyoming, and then come back down.
Yeah, and at the time I was like, oh, how far away is Utah from Grand Junction? And then not even that, you look it up on the map, and it's like literally an hour away to get into Utah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not that far. Let's go. It's an hour away. So, so we ended up going through and Flaming Gorge, and that whole area there was so amazing. Again, it was another surprise that's happened to us, on a lot of things that we do, we're not, we focus on the one thing, but then we leave it open for all the surprises that could happen, during the time, so not with expectation, like I'm expecting something surprising to happen, because obviously it doesn't always happen, but these times that we're talking about, it happens, and it's amazing because the whole area there was so beautiful to see all of the
taking it all in.
The areas that we're looking through. So
and then we take it. We take 80. We come home, and no big deal, and 2020 hit. So I again shared before how my bike made it and I didn't to Sturgis. So I says, I'm going. And Stacy's, Liberty, there we go again. Put another coin in the jar. Liberty,
I'm gonna make some good money.
I'm telling you, you're gonna get rich. Liberty goes and says, well, you can't go by yourself. So, well, I'll get so-and-so to go with me, and so-and-so will go with me. And then, this person was gonna go with me, and then they backed out. And it's because I usually go the first weekend. And so Saturday morning comes, and I'm 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting ready, and I'm sitting there getting ready, and she's out of bed, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I says, "I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go real quick, okay? So you don't have to do anything. Just don't worry about it." And she's like, "Well, no, I'm gonna go with you." I says, "Oh, that's why you're up?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's why I'm up." And I'm like, and then she said it kind of begrudgingly. She kind of said it begrudgingly, and I says, "I'm just gonna go up there real quick, and then come right back. I'm just gonna drive up there, drive back, because at this point, I'm still nervous about being on the bike. I'm still nervous because I'm afraid. Again, I'm afraid to have another thrombosis or have a stroke and wreck the bike and be out of it. And so I wasn't wanting to ride to Sturgis. So I said, I'll just drive up there, make you feel better. So it still didn't work. So she wanted to go with me. So we left, planning on just going to Sturgis. So we going through, I did not realize you have something going on in Deadwood. You have something going on in Sturgis. You have something going on in Rapid City. And you have something going on in Hill City. I knew the other ones, and I realized the other ones, but I did not realize Deadwood. So we drove straight through Deadwood, and come around, and we go to Sturgis, hang out, do that, this and that. Then we drive over to Rapid City, to the dealership, go over there, take that all in, because it's our first time, and I think the first year, we didn't even make it to Main Street. We just made it to that one first place that you drive in. I thought that's where it was, again.
They have two streets just in case you want to know.
Exactly. So I'm just, again, we're in the car, so it's not a big deal to me. So we made our way to the Main Street that later on after I found out. And so then we go, and coming back, almost towed our car. I was buying a shirt for my mom, and Liberty goes, another coin. Stop. So Liberty goes, I'm going to go get the car. Luckily, she went and got the car because they were actually putting cars onto tow trucks. Our first experience of knowing, okay, you got to know where you got to park.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you pay attention. Anybody who decides to go to Sturgis, make sure that you pay attention to those tow signs, because they will tow your car, your bike.
They will take it.
And they don't care.
Yeah.
And because you're in violation. So make sure that you are listening to their... make sure you obey the law.
Yeah, make sure you're paying attention where you park. and so we go to Rapid City. I'm sorry, I went back, but we're in Rapid City. Then we drive to Hill City, and it's probably about 5 o'clock, and it takes a minute to get to back home. No, it was probably earlier. It was probably, we drove to Wall. That's what it was.
Yeah.
We drove to Wall, and we drove to Wall to go, again, a dealership. We drove to Wall, and so
it's kind of a cute town in case you decide that you want to go out there. So.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get the dealership. There's stuff to do in there.
Yeah, it was about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and so Liberty's like, "So, are we going home, or what are we doing? What we finding a hotel? What are we doing? Because it's starting to get late, and we're gonna get back late." And I'm like, nah, we're going somewhere. So, well, where are we going? Where else is it going? She wanted to go to Mount Rushmore. Go, yeah, we're up here. It'd be cool to go to Mount Rushmore.
We had talked about it on the way there, but we hadn't.
And she did not know that was in my itinerary. And so she's like, but it's late. Let's just go. It's on the way. And I'm like, that's my thing. It's on the way. And so we go, and we end up over there. I think we didn't get out of there till I think it was 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah.
So then from there,
we
still have to get home. That's 6 hours to get back to Denver. So we ended up doing that. I think that ended up being a 17-hour day, and so.
Yeah. That's one of our turn and burns.
Yeah, it was a turn and burn, but really it was kind of, I don't want to put it on the turn and burn because that's coming up too. I didn't want to put that one on the turn and burn because, again, it was a rally.
Right.
I could have mentioned other rallies, but those rallies go under other Sturgis rallies, but those go under different categories. So this one I can squeeze into this one. And then I decide, I want to see Leonard Skinnard. So that's Arizona Bike Week. Another weekend trip.
We were just gonna go for we were gonna go for the weekend, so it was leave Friday, come back Sunday.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. I think it was, I wasn't expecting. I mean, there was another band that was also there during that time, so we could have gotten tickets to the other band. But yeah, we went to go see Leonard Skinner, and that was so amazing, because I know it's funny to some people. You may not know how much it means to other people when you do things that's special for them.
Right.
We took your mom up there to go to Arizona Bike Week to do, because she had wanted to go to Arizona Bike Week with us. So we took her up there, and it was we said, okay, well, this is what we're going to do during this time, but we're going to go see Leonard Skinner. And so there's another somebody else that lives there, or something.
She had a friend that lived down there.
Yeah. Okay. So there was something for her to do as well.
Right.
But, so we're not leaving her high and dry for something that we wanted to do. But it was really amazing to get there, because, all right, so I'm gonna out us a little bit, but he's 5'4", I'm 5'3". Leonard Skinner area was like flat ground. And everybody in there was like 6'2". They're like 5'11". I mean, these guys, and there's no grandstands or whatever. Well, we got there. The whole front area is packed full of people.
Right.
And so it was really funny, because this guy that was in front of us, he turns around and looks at it and goes, "Hey, come up here in front of us so you can see can see the concert."
And slowly it was a lot of that. Slowly we made our way to the stage, and we ended up we weren't right at the stage, but we were pretty dang close.
Yeah, probably about maybe 5 rows from the front, because I think they were just letting all the short people go in front of them. Go ahead.
But it was one of those, again, unexpected things.
Yeah, and it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was actually a great time for us too, because we got to spend a lot of good time with my mother-in-law, and and then her friend was able to spend time with her too.
Yeah, she was able to see her friend when she went down there, and cool. They hadn't seen each other in a little bit. I don't know how long it had been since they'd seen each other. But again, it was one of those things. You just got to get out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, I can go on and on. There's a whole other Arizona Bike Week story I could tell. We'll save that for another time, But like I always say, be blessed.
Like, share, subscribe. I forgot that on the last one. Sorry, guys, but I remembered this time, and I don't need my little bound. Okay, I think you owe me probably $1.50 now.
$1.50?
Yes. I'm Liberty. This is Lito, and this is the breakdown with Lito and Liberty.
There you go.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yep. See you next time.
See you next time. Peace.